Welcome everyone registered for the Shar Pei Pro Future Symposium 2023. I am the author of the fourth lecture, and it's not really easy to introduce myself by myself, but I will try to do it. I have been with the breed more than 30 years as a breeder and more than 20 years as a judge. I judged the breed twice at the World Dog Show and twice at European dog shows. Today, I think it's not possible to count how many times I judge at international and club shows across Europe. I'm the author of several publications about Shar Pei breed and more than 40 professional articles about the nutrition and ethics of dog breeding. Currently, I am a member of a judging advisory board and chairman of the breeding committee in Slovak Kennel Club, and I represent Slovakia in the breeding commission of FCI. My task today is to bring clarity to the terminology in the case of coat and wrinkles to help understand what the standards say and to identify what the breeders and judges should respect. I believe the simplification and a clear scheme can help breeders and judges. Finally, we split my presentation into two separate lectures. The first lecture will cover the topic of coats, while the second lecture will cover the topic of wrinkles. Just important notes. During the symposium, there was sometimes a problem with Wi-Fi, so the video is not always in good sound quality. What about content of my presentation? I will speak about what is the standard, overview of major updates of standards, why there are mistakes in the interpretation of the standard in the coat and wrinkles part, the 5 most important characteristics of the Shar Pei code, how to prevent mistakes and myths, briefly about wrinkles and loose skin. So we can move. I will be referring to the standard often in my presentation. Just a moment, because I found something interesting. Yes, you don't see me and nobody say me. Okay, now everything is okay, probably. I will be referring to the standard often in my presentation. This document is essential for every breed club and breeders when determining their breeding strategy. It is also binding for judges. During the symposium, we are providing clear, logical, and well-documented explanation of the breed formulation of standards. What is the breed standard? For me, a breed standard is a guideline that describes the ideal characteristic, temperament, and appearance of the breed. It's essential to ensure that the breed is fit for function with soundness. Breeders and judges should always be mindful of features that could harm the health, welfare, or soundness of this breed. That we can move to the next slide. Yes, for this part, originally I wanted to speak 15 minutes, not it's joke. Attila, you are too fast, but I can continue. Before we discuss the code and skin of the Shar Pei, we have to mention some historical events that greatly influenced them. As standards were updated, so did our opinion on what the breed should look like. From admiring excessive skin or hippos, we adopted its healthier and more elegant form. I'm very happy that Tamás mentioned that He mentioned in presentation that it's visible at the shows. Experience has made us wiser, but also more humble, because we wish for the healthy prosperity of the breed. However, in the order to save time, I will not go into deep to explanation this historical data. Today, I will just mention the latest updates of standards. The American Kennel Club recognized the breed in 1992. The last revision of the standard was in 1998. The FCI recognized the breed in 1981 with a provisional standard that was updated in 1994. It was followed by the UK, which recognized the breed in 1985, and the current standard is from 2012. The current FCI standard was adopted in 1999 and brought great positive changes. The country of origin is China, and the China Kennel Union has been a regular member of the FCI since 2006. The breed is under patronage of FCI. Okay, we can move. We are aware that our breed faced various challenges and difficulties in different periods its history. The breed underwent many changes since its origin and recognition in various countries around the world. Some of these changes had negative impact on the breed and to well-being and health. However, the updates of standard that I mentioned in the previous slides also brought huge positive outcomes, such as enhancing the elegance, vitality, health, and life energy. Those who have been with the breed for a long time confirm huge improvement in all parameters, which lead to the healthy, full of energy breed. We can move. I know you are interested in the wording of the first Hong Kong Kennel Club standards. Although they are currently not traceable on official websites and can only be found on some breeders' sites without a traceable verified source, I'm listing the data I have from the time that were publicly available. It's because I did the presentation for breeders and judges some years ago that they was traceable in this time. The wording about code was very brief. Concretely, code, short, hard, bristly, and as straight as possible. No undercoat. Length must not be over 2.5 centimeters. Never trimmed. That's all. Since 2006, the China Kennel Union has been a full member of the FCI. They have the same function and task as another countries inside FCI. We can move. There is a lot of false information about another standards being accepted in China that divides from the FCI standards. It is important to verify the information according to the literature and trustful sources. The Shar Pei breed is originally from China, and China is full member of FCI. I requested an official opinion from China Kennel Union, and they refused all rumors. They write, please note that our breed standard for Shar Pei is exactly the same as the one published in the FCI website. The FCI standard is very similar to the original one, but more precise. It specifies the maximum and minimum length of the coat from 1 centimeter to 2.5 centimeters and features of the coat as short, harsh, bristly, outstanding, never trimmed. Please, next. Let's take a look at how American Kennel Club standard explain the coat quality and texture. texture, it confirms the original wording of the standard and FCI standard also, and does not contradict it in any way. It adds a more detailed explanation and helps using the terms as horse and brush. The maximum length of the code is 2.5 centimeters on the meters. They ask for healthy code. In educational materials, they strongly appeal to not prefer one type over another. And now, next slide, please. Standard in UK, the Kennel Club, standard also describe the quality of the code consistently. It does not contradict the original wording and FCI standard. Adds additional explanation regarding the length. Here we have also specification maximum and minimum, but with small differences. They start from 1 centimeter and 25 millimeters. This standard doesn't use the terms horse and brush, but emphasizes directly in the standard that dog should not be preferred according to the length of the code. So we can move. If we summarize it, we see that code is described very similarly in every standard. The essence is the same. However, we still see problems with inappropriate quality and length of code in breeding line and shows. There can be more reason for this, and they are sometimes hidden in small details in a combination of circumstances. Next, please. Probably why we have problem. The standard is brief and doesn't explain the exact meaning of terms. What does sharp mean? On which part of the body should the code be outstanding? How outstanding? Details are important in this case of Shar Pei code. Standards are different in the precision of determination, the length of the code, and leave room for discussion. Expression like horse and brush or short and longer can be interpreted differently by everyone. Some standards contain their terms and some don't. Sources of information unlimited. And we should say we don't have consistent and appropriate education in this case. Next, please. Inadequate information, knowledges of details affect not only breeders and exhibitors, but also judges. When details are not taken into consideration, everyone stops noticing them. But if we overlook them, we create always bigger and bigger space for this silent acceptance. That is the reason why we have many champions with the wrong structure of the code and also in many bloodlines. Worse, very often we see breeders are preferring modern color over correct code structure. Next, please. We work and conduct all our breeding activities in accordance with the FCI regulation. Even though the standard describes the structure and quality of code very briefly, we can explain and specify all the terms based on the relevant sources. The Federation published the main feature of the code in our leaflet small brochure also, and I would like to thank you now, our mentor, Mr. Madgolau again, who was the supervisor of this project. Now we can safely use this source in many cases, and I will do this in next slides. Next, please. The code is a characteristic feature of the breed, so we must pay attention to its details. These details must be considered not only at shows, but also in any breedings program. In this presentation, I will explain the features of the code and learn how to identify the correct details. And now, like the Bible, 5 aspects of the Shar Pei code. First, texture, sharpness. Not undercoat, not glossy, short from 1 centimeter, maximum 2.5 centimeters, measure on the withers and on the tail, and straight and outstanding on the body on withers and flatter on the limbs. Next, please. Check the sharpness of the code. To correct check the code sharpness, place the inside of your hand above the wrist on the withers or the top line of the back. You should feel a prickling sensation on your skin. I recommend do it during judging if you are not sure. Owners should be familiar with these pricklings from daily grooming, and sometimes we have call from owner, sorry, I have a problem because I have allergy to my dog or coat, but it's not allergy. They have Shar Pei with typical coat. Next, please. You will not feel prickling in case dogs in the pictures. If you unfold dog's coat, you should not see undercoat on the top line and withers. If the dog has an undercoat, the coat is not sharp. The coat can't be soft, velvety, wavy, smooth, or shiny like in some short haired breeds, such as Dachshunds or Tamás, Hungarian Vizsla. Remember, no undercoat, no glossy, no silk. Next, please. Coat length is controversial topic full of myths. Yes, the standard is brief in case of length specification, but believe me, that's enough for a proper understanding. We don't need at all adjectives that confuse us and create space for discussion, but also the alibi of breeders and exhibitors. All over the world, people, all properly use a lot of modification to try to explain quality of Shar Pei coat. The attributes horse, brush, extremely short brush, and long brush are given to the length of the coats, but the FCI standard is very clear. We have only one characteristic for the length of the coat. Short from 1 to 2.5 centimeters with a specification, but it shouldn't be the longest. Did you know, for example, that explanation of coat length, brush, breeders in China understand as bears? It is understandable that using different terms which have different meaning in different parts of the world leads to chaos and misunderstanding. Next, please. Here you see 3 examples of standards code with the correct structure and exact length measurement at the withers. The codes are short from 1 centimeter to 2.5 centimeters. You can see 3 examples. And now let's talk about how we call these codes. By adjectives that are confusing for owners, but also for judges. The first on the top on left side is often called horse, but also extremely short. The second one on right on the top is called brush, but also betweener or short brush. The third one below is called a brush, but also long brush. Who is supposed to know this? Which judge should remember it and why? Who defines what is short brush or long brush? How much room for misunderstanding is there thanks to this creativity of readers' terminology? And it is so easy. Just say the standard code of Shar Pei is short from 1 to 2.5 centimeters. We don't need anything more to explain how long the correct code of the Shar Pei should be. Next, please. For more explanation, avoid misunderstanding by using precise terms. We may have different images of brush in our minds. Similarly, the phrases extremely short hair can vary in meanings from different people. The horse has a short coat, but is very shiny and tight. And it really looks like the coat of our breed. Just look at the picture above. These descriptive terms can lead to extreme cases of misunderstanding and confusions, mainly in people without experience, and I know judges have problem with understanding too. Do you remember how I said that small deviation can gradually lead to big changes? Look at the Changchong dog from China. They have really extremely short coat. But that is not typical for Shar Pei. By using precise terms, we can avoid confusion and mistakes. Next, please. The coat is longest on the withers and the tail, and this part also shows slight variation in the appearance of the tail among dogs with standard lengths. On the top, you see typical coat on the tail in dog with coat up to 2.5 centimeters, and below are tails of dogs with standard coat approximately 1 centimeter long. Next, please. One of the frequent mistakes of breeders is that the length of the coat affects the type of individual dogs. This is a mistake that is proven by many examples. You can see also on the slide dogs with different coats length and yet in the same type. Or on the right side, two brothers with the same length of coat but in different type. The structure and length of the coat don't affect the type of dog. Shar Pei, of course. Next, please. If we're speaking about straight or off-standing, in the picture, you can see a very nice coat that is off-standing and straight. However, it is not like that on the whole body. The coat is bristly and off-standing on the withers and the top backline, which you see as colored blue. The coat is flatter, as the arrows shows on the tight, the sides of the chest, the forechest, and the front legs. So, next, please. The Shar Pei coat resume. The standard determines the correct structure of the coat very briefly, but precisely and clear. In professional communication, it is necessary to use exact expression and not more meaningful words, such as extremely short, or short brush, long brush, etc., which can confuse everyone, including judges. The structure and length of the coat do not affect the type. Remember, the coat has to be short from 1 centimeter to 2.5 centimeter maximum on the waiters and tail, without undercoat, sharp and bristly, made, no shiny, straight and standing out at the withers and along the back line, but flatter fitting on the lips and other parts of the body, not trimmed or cut.